Good Monday morning. And let's be honest, Mondays are different. The beginning of the week, often if we do a Monday through Friday job, Mondays, especially Monday morning, is a time where we feel like we're paying for maybe decisions we made on how many times we went back to the bar or how late we stayed up binge watching Netflix. And Monday's the great corrective. Weirdly enough, clergy kind of have it backwards, but it still means Monday's weird because, for instance, of the last 2 weeks, probably I worked harder yesterday than any day. And so my Monday, I wake up and feel like I'm in a day off kind of mood. But I fought that impulse and I thought we'd go big or go home this Monday morning. And what I'd like all of us to do, I want everybody to play along, is we're going to make something negative positive. As a great gift to ourselves, those around us, all of earth and all of heaven, we're going to heal something. And I'd like to start with a reading from Paul's letter to the Romans. And a quick aside, those of you who are churchgoers, whether it's virtual church going, a lot of churches use a lectionary that is on a 3-year cycle, including Epiphany Church in Las Vegas. And right now, in the season of Pentecost, we'll be hearing from the book of Romans all through this season from, I guess, chapter 5 all the way through chapter 14 or 15 over the next several months. And it is really good stuff, gotta say. So a couple weeks from now, we'll be hearing from Romans 8. And in the reading, we'll hear this one famous sentence of hope from Paul, where he says, "We know that all things work together for good, for those who love God, who are called according to his purpose." Yes, I'm going to read it twice. We know that all things work together for good. And all things means that includes some stuff that's really doesn't feel too good, that's painful, and it's hard to imagine that God could possibly even have allowed this to happen to us in the first place. We thought we were good people. Why would this terrible injustice or tragedy happen to us? Well, in God's big perspective, it's possible, and it's possible that we can start to see things a little more that way ourselves, that this terrible, horrible, very bad thing that happened to us might be for our benefit, and that God can use it for good. Now, we're going to play a little game. You do know that you're seeing my mirror image, right? Like, this doesn't say, "Find joy in the journey" to you. It's backwards, correct? And for that same reason, you say, "Oh, that's his right hand, but that's my wedding ring." You're actually looking at my left hand. This is my right hand. So I actually wrote backwards so you can see the little game we're playing. I took this blue piece of paper and I wrote on it, and I want you to take a piece of paper too. I think I wrote this right, backwards, yes. Get a little piece of paper and a pen and write on it victim and victory. Then, after you've done that, think about something in your life that isn't resolved. The divorce where your lazy, cheating husband or wife then ended up with the better child custody rules from the judge and 75% of the assets. You feel like a victim, right? Let's be honest, be honest. Remember too, no one can see what you're writing. It's just between you, yourself, and God. Be honest. Where do you feel like the victim? Was there a job that you know for a fact you got fired from because your boss, your not so competent boss, was jealous of your job performance? This happens all the time. So you're not being vain if you think that. It might be exactly true. You were the victim. So write that down, especially if you still have a lingering resentment. This might have happened 20 years ago, but that doesn't mean we've fixed it, right? remember, you're the only one who can see this. Write down one thing that you feel that you've been a victim. And then, where it says victory, that's our time to brainstorm with God and think, how could God completely, totally, and I don't mean 100%, I mean 1,000,000%, not only redeem this injustice, this unfair tragedy that happened to us, but make it not only equally better, but surpass the damage done, that the restoration is greater than the loss. It's like these people who burn themselves on a sip of McDonald's coffee and get $1 million at a lawsuit. You see, that's where the restoration far exceeds the damage. The victory has exceeded the victimhood. Yes, that's what we're going to figure out right now. For instance, let's take that hideous, horrible divorce that you were victimized. You probably already have some sense of victory. Like, well, one nice thing is I don't live with that person anymore. It could be you remarried and that you were in a marriage that was happier. I know that a supper song and praise message that is to come this week touches on this very topic. I won't do any more spoilers than that, however. The job where the less competent than you person who made more than you fired you, remember a few things. One, that person is not going to escape the laws of karma and that they are their business. That's between them and God. What can you do to make it a victory? Remind yourself that you may have gotten a better job as a result. And it might have followed a period of unemployment, which was really hard. Or you might still be in that period of unemployment. But under your victory spot, write down, God is going to give me a better position, a better job, more in accordance with God's will, where God will be more generous with me, where I will be rewarded, appreciated more than I ever was on the best day at the job from which I got fired. And in this job, not only will it serve me, I'll have more opportunity to serve the world. Go to that positive place. Think, what might be God up to here? Now, don't think I always do this. For instance, I pounded my head. I kicked against the goads, to use another St. Paul phrase, where we kick against the goads. We keep insisting that our will is right. I had it that I was going to be a happy clergy member of the Diocese of Los Angeles. I knew that's what I wanted, and that's what I was going to get. There were no indications, however, from the outside world, including God, that this was right. So sometimes I felt victimized there. I thought, am I really feeling this many shut doors? And to be perfectly candid, I'd see some of the clergy that go, I wouldn't have hired them as assistants at my last parish. And here they are, rector of so-and-so. My goodness, if I hear one more boring sermon from them, I'm going to bang my head against the wall. I mean, it's just awful. But I see now that all those clergy, and especially the two bishops of Los Angeles, did me a huge favor by saying, not here, and got me to where God wanted me to be. That's the victory. That's the victory. I am so happy to be at Epiphany Church in Las Vegas, Nevada, to work with Rick O'Brien and to have Jim Wagner as my bishop. God was showing off. Thank you, God. And thank you for shutting the doors that needed shutting. You're catching on. So, remember, most important thing, nobody can see what you're writing. No one's going to go, oh, are you ever a crybaby? Oh, you haven't forgiven that yet? Are you telling me you're still resentful about that? Perfectly okay. We are human beings. If you've got that thing that you still feel like I was deeply wronged, write that down that you feel most wronged about. And then prayerfully ask God with confidence, God, I know that you can make all things together, work together for good. I do love you, God. I am called according to your purpose. I know that all things work together for good. And let God then give you the glimpse into what victory looks like and how that will manifest in your life. And think now. Now, don't wait for an hour from now. Don't wait for certain factors to change. Think right now. I am the victor because of God's power, might, grace, and generosity. I am not the victim. Okay, that's what we got for Monday. And stay tuned the next couple months for lots of smart things from St. Paul in the book of Romans on Sunday mornings. All right, God bless you all. I love you.